Okay, this is Bid Unity's calendar. We can schedule different projects and different workers on the company's calendar. So let's start by creating an appointment. When you select a project, initially we have a list of 45 projects. These are all active. So these projects would have an accepted proposal that's going to make the project become active. We also might want to schedule somebody for a project that's already completed. Maybe there's a warranty request, or maybe we're just not that far yet and we want to schedule them for some other thing. You can search for the project's name. Once a project is selected, you can select a worker. All of the company's users, workers, standard users, are available in this list. We need to select a start date and time for the appointment. So we start this at 10:30, go over 3 hours. The project's address is already populated. You can make a note. Simple note, can highlight them and various different things to create emphasis. And finally, we can save that event. So that just showed up here. Now, the interesting feature about this is Bid Unity's calendar will create the appointment on Google Calendar. So if you have created, you look at the video on the calendar settings, it goes through and creates a calendar, but you would create a new calendar from your Google account here. Once you do that, you can then go into the new calendar settings, and you can manage who that is shared with. You could add various people at your company and share the information on that calendar with them. So you can also copy existing events here and fairly efficiently create them on the same calendar as well. I want to show you that the changes made in Google Calendar do not persist back to Bid Unity. So changes stay in Google. We can go back here. We don't see the text. Changes stay in Google. But what's also noteworthy, in Bid Unity, you don't see the link back to the project. So creating these projects in Bid Unity will persist to Google Calendar so that you can share them. You can distribute the appointments via your employees' phones, assuming that they have the Google Calendar app. And then when the employee accesses the appointments, they'll have a link to the project page. So that takes you straight to the documents from the employee's phone. They could upload some photos directly from the job site, taking pictures, tagging them, giving them a name, maybe room 151, elevation 151. So it's a good way to keep up with what's complete on site. While we're here in the project page, the project has an address, we use the address to look up the latitude and longitude, which can be edited here. You could assign a radius for a geofence. It basically creates an area around the project site. When your employees enter into that designated area, it can be used to trigger an event that's recorded on the server when they get to the job, or when I left from work last night. And independently of arriving at and leaving from, we have clocking in and clocking out. Show you what the app looks like. You can find it in the Google Play Store, BidUnity Time Clock. Sign in, and then you have various projects that you can choose from. The project list is updated on a daily basis, and it's only going to include projects that the employee is scheduled to be on from the current time to the end of the day. So if they refresh, say they had a morning appointment and an afternoon appointment, if they refresh their schedule in the afternoon, the morning appointment will no longer be available for them to select. But this way we can keep track of which projects they're spending their time on, and if we're able to get the geofence entry and exit events, then we can also determine how much time we're actually spending working on site as opposed to traveling or not working on site. I recommend that you use a large geofence radius, especially if the project maybe doesn't have an address. You could always find the latitude and longitude of the project and put that in yourself. But the purpose of the calendar is to connect the employees in the field with the project, and kind of bringing together the ability for everybody to get on the same page and put information in the same place. Employees can also make notes as the job progresses from the field. They can get into any parts of the proposal. They could copy the basis of bid and then go through measuring the elevations and update the sizes from their phones. But back to the calendar, we have a list of all of the employees. You can hide and show them. You also scroll to the bottom. You have a list of all of the projects that have been scheduled in the time period that is shown. So if you wanted to kind of declutter the information being displayed, then you can hide and show some of those different projects. You can also look at it on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, and you can view it in an agenda type format. If you wanted to change the colors that users display or edit the sync settings for their calendar, you can do that through this link. I am thinking that that's about all I had to share with you as it relates to the calendar. Good luck.